It's like the first time you read Kerouac. You're like, well, I'm going to be Kerouac. You're not going to be Kerouac. Grab a coffee. This could be... Today we're going to talk about Raise Your Voice Right, steal scraps from expert tables. I'm holding up something very...
You must be so embarrassed!
I never used to be embarrassed about it, but I am a little embarrassed about what's in it. My art diary from high school. That's not the embarrassing part.
Come on, man! It's embarrassing!
It had a lot of blank pages, and when I went to university, I took it with me and started to write things in the blank pages. And that is where the embarrassment lies.
I'm so embarrassed.
Ooh, Janine. I would just write all sorts of just bullshit in it. Just like a lot of drabbles of things. It's all bad. Here's an example.
Brace for impact.
Death claims us all, presses us to its bosom, suffocates us in its black shroud. We die. God. I am so sorry. I really am so sorry. Oh my God. Janine.
It's embarrassing.
But the post. The memory of it was actually that I'd completely ripped off the line, crazy what you could have had, out of the song Country Feedback. Copyright strike song. And just the lyrics in that song, the way Michael Stipe writes. And I think there is, what is that podcast where they actually get people on to talk about how they wrote a song? I think there's a really good one with Michael Stipe talking about, it might even be Losing My Religion. Life. Oh. What is that show called? Doesn't matter. And so I would, lie in bed at night with my Walkman, or knockoff Walkman headphones on and just like play this song, rewind it. It's such a grinding kind of song, and it inspired me to completely rip off that line, crazy what you could have had, and use that as a basis for this very bad thing that I'm about to tell you about now. This notebook had a 6-part, let's call it a poem. I would never call it a poem now. I would call it garbage. I would just flat out call it garbage. It is the most embarrassing thing to like go back and read something you wrote when you were 18 or 19. I think I must have been 19 if this is the year that Out of Time came out.
It's fashion. Look it up.
And it's just, I could feel the blood rushing up into my face when I just realised how bad it is and how embarrassing it is and how little of the world I knew and how bad of a writer I was at the time, actually. And I had thoughts of it being good. When I found this book and opened it and actually read it, I was mortified. And I thought, well, I'll read parts of it out to you today, but I don't actually have to do that. I don't have to share 19-year-old Janine with you. I might read like a line or two out of it, but Christ, it's embarrassing. It is f***ing terrible. Anyway, the thing that I used, crazy what you could have had, was a story which I called The Naked Light Bulb. I'll give you a little synopsis of the story. The Naked Light Bulb is a strip joint. The story begins with our married man going into this strip club. I describe him as the featureless-faced man. And the bar that he goes into, the Naked Light Bulb, has a lot of featureless-faced people in it. I make a big thing out of that throughout the piece. Anyway, dancing on the stage is someone that I called the fishing line girl at the time, because I had some kind of idea that she'd be kind of like a stripper who used her prop, the fishing line, to like squeeze bits of skin. You know how when you wrap fishing line around your skin and you squeeze it out and it's all... That was her thing. Like, and dudes got off on it. I was 19. Come on. What did I know?
I don't know shit about
Anyway, so she was the fishing line girl. He saw her, immediately just besotted, loved her. And that's essentially, how it begins. They make eye contact. She doesn't recognise him, I say, because he's got featureless face. But why would she recognise him, Janine? She's never seen him before in her life. God. I really want to go back and just really grab 19-year-old Janine by her lapels and say, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you writing this shit? Anyway, part 2. What happens in part 2? Part 2, she's on the stage giving her all. Oh, I'll read you this bit. You'll love this. The fishing line girl on the stage gives her all and a little more. Her gyrating hips give her away. Everyone can see she's an Elvis fan. I'm dying inside right now. This is so embarrassing. Anyway, she's dancing. Someone rushes the stage. Bouncer comes in. Everyone flies into the stage. Featureless face man gets up there too, rushes the stage, wants to save this new love that he's just found. Part 3. This is the wife's chapter here. She gets in a cab. She's got a featured face, very featured. She says to the cab driver she needs to go to the naked light bulb, and he's like, he takes one look at her featured face and is like, are you sure? Yes, she says she's sure. She gets there, she's standing outside, reads the tatty posters. Tonight, Fenella Fishing Line. That's the name of the fishing line girl. Fenella. Next week, Willing Wonder. God, I'm just so good at this. She prepares herself to go in. Part 4. Ugh.
Please, I'll do anything, make it stop!
So we've got the guy on the stage. Everyone's on the stage trying to defend the fishing line girl and save her from this creep that's bum rushed the stage. Pile of people. It's still going on about just the melee that, you know, there's bits of bodies everywhere. People are getting tangled up in the fishing line. And the Fenella and the featureless-faced husband sort of meet on the stage by touching, awkwardly, I guess. The crowd at the naked light bulb cheers. Part 5. Featured wife walks in. It's like that piano stop moment into the saloon. All the featureless faces turn to look at the featured face. She cops one look at the scene in here and she's like, she can have him. I don't want that guy. The story's not very solid. Jesus Christ. I cannot allow my mind to wander off unchaperoned. Anyway, she's decided they belong together. She orders a scotch. On the rocks.
Love on the rocks.
The final chapter of the Naked Light Bulb saga occurs many years later. The naked light bulb falls. The wrecker's ball smashes the last wall down. So it's being demolished. Across the street, watching it being demolished, is the featureless-faced man with his new wife and 2 snotty-nosed kids. And he looks at this and he's like, what have I done? What have I done? And I end it with the line, it's crazy what he could have had.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Now you might think R.e.m. inspired that. That's not very inspired. No.
Shut up and get to the point!
The point is, this week's post was about imitating the people that you admire. And about how you should. When you're young, that's how you find your voice. That's how you figure out what kind of writer you want to be. This is specifically about writing, I guess. So who did I used to imitate? It's like Catcher in the Rye. I loved Catcher in the Rye. The first time I ever read it was assigned year 8, I believe. Just like that style of writing, first person. I wanted to be a writer of young adult fiction. My final year at university, I wrote a young adult novel. The year after I left university, I wrote another young adult novel. I call them my bottom drawer books because they're somewhere in a bottom drawer. They will never see the light of day either, probably.
It's destined to be pop legend.
The writer I used to imitate the most was Robert Cormier. I loved Robert Cormier books. If you've ever read The Chocolate War.
No, I'm not going to sell the chocolates.
Oh my God, The Chocolate War. We read that at school. What a crazy book that was. I Am the Cheese. The Bumblebee Flies Anyway. I think that We All Fall Down. I can't remember what that one's about, but I think I have that one here somewhere. I remember writing my final high school year English exam short story in the style of Robert Cormier. I guess the greater point, if there's a point.
Quick to the point, no faking.
Janine, cut yourself a little bit of slack. 19-year-old Janine was trying to figure out who she was.
Hello? To whom am I speaking?
Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, I think. Sometimes it feels like my head is being crushed. Ugh. Oh, God. Janine. Oh, my God. I want to remind you that I probably wasn't drinking. This is like high-grade plutonium level shit. There's a poem in here called Meat Tray.
Pop history. You're looking at it. This is it.